Hello, viewers, and welcome to the GI Huddle. Today, I'm with Yury Ermantraut, Chief Executive Director of Atmosfera. Yury, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you on. Looking forward to talking about live casino and the company. To start off with, can you tell me a bit about your role, what you do, and the company journey so far?
Sure, with pleasure. So regarding Atmosfera, so it is a B2B software provider which offer live casino products to the market. And we set up the company in 2020, and we think about ourselves as a forward-looking team that's trying to bring fresh ideas, studio design, fresh ideas, for example, in studio design, in game interface, for sure in marketing features and PR tools. Regarding me, I think my role is a classic CEO. So I'm trying to carry the load of overall workflow, like company vision, the strategy, main points. Also, I am deep in the product development right now because we are about to complete our classic product portfolio, live casino product portfolio. For now, I think we have like around 20 plus partners from different markets. Of course, we are known as trendsetters in PR field and well-known approach to sharing the information, our thoughts, our feelings about the market, about us. So I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, absolutely. As you say, quite a young company, but use the word trendsetters. So definitely kind of making your mark on the market. At the moment, how competitive is the live casino market?
It's become more and more competitive, I think, every month, not even every year. So because of several things. First of all, the big companies, for example, like Pragmatic, they're getting bigger and bigger and more interesting from the product perspective. This is my personal opinion. Also, a lot of new, really good live casino providers entering to the market. For example, like several months ago, I finding new competitor like in Infinity Live provider, and I'm waiting when they will start live. So I think it's quite competitive, and but it's become more interesting to compete because you are trying to find out some new features which would help you to grow fast, to compete for the player. So
yeah, as you say, an interesting market, plenty of innovation, I think is a good way to sum it up. I know Atmosfera, you take a bit of a unique, maybe innovative approach internally with the company. And I know you're keen to talk about how you approach people and things like human resources. Can you tell us about what you call personal branding?
It's one of my favorite questions and one of my favorite topic, because we quite spend more time and more focus on this in Atmosfera. I want to tell you a little bit how I decided to create Atmosfera and why, and it will be linked with the topic.
Sure.
I wanted to create a live casino provider because I believed in people from this industry, and also I saw the opportunity from a synergy of those energy of those people and ambitions. And for me, people the most valuable resource and success recipe for achieving goals. And if you want to get maximum from your team, even from yourself, it's important to say, you need to give them also maximum to take care. And also it works only in such way. So in order to team resources to be renewable, replenished, and generate the necessary results, it is important to invest in them. And also we use different approaches and methods of setting tasks and monitoring. Sometimes I could use the word "you must do it," so directive approach, because I think we need to save time and we need to do it fast. And I'm sure in what I believe, I'm sure in this moment that we need to do it fast and must in this way. It is not only 2 approaches, we use much more, around 5, but it's most important. Also, for example, they have a lot of opportunities to decide by themselves. So they already individual employees that are responsible for the fields, for the PR, for example, for the product development, independent employees. I think all these things helps me to build such strong team, independent team. When we start, I was the only ambassador of the company who speak about Atmosfera, about what we do, what we plan, and now we have around 5. So I have the people who are responsible for PR, and Alona, for example, my colleague who is responsible for PR, this ambassador, Atmosfera, and responsible for PR. And we have ambassadors for HR field, for product field, design, and I'm really happy about it. So they become so strong and independent, and they believe the same way as I, and I believe in the same way as they. So it's all made the circle of trust to each other. When I tell this, I'm so feel happy, it's to understand it, because it's one of our goals to feel people comfortable, bring new ideas, bring energy, bring perfect atmosphere in Atmosfera company. That's we are.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I can sense that flexibility coming across from what you're saying, and definitely it's good you said trust, because that was a word I was going to use. It sounds like trusting each employee, each individual. How does that affect the company's corporate culture overall? I'm not sure if there's been any recent developments, kind of new things in this area for Atmosfera.
Personal brand of individuals, of my colleagues, of my team. It's it's part of company's brand. So, and for me, it is the area in which we succeed the most. This is the main basis of your human relationships within the team, as well as an important hiring tool. So it builds trust inside Atmosfera and also outside the market. And regarding the corporate culture, one day, maybe with interview, in interview to you, with you, I will say that we established corporate culture at Atmosfera, but for now, I couldn't say like this. 5 years ago, I read a book it's called Corporate Religion. The author Kunde, and this book was about the importance of building a corporate culture in the companies, and they through the example of 5 huge brands. One of them was Harley Davidson, and I fell in love with this book and is in this ideology. And I was waiting for the moment when I could have a possibility to create it by myself. Or before I established Stop and Atmosfera, I was trying to find out the company with such ideology on the market as an employer, like employer. But now I can create it inside it in Atmosfera. And so, as I told you, with the creation of Atmosfera, I realized that the time has come, and I can create my corporate religion based on the personal feelings and values. And it's, to be honest, it's not an easy path. So, as I said, I would like not just declare that we have a corporate culture. So I want people, I want all people, all team, every single colleague to feel it and to believe in these values. I think we are on the right way.
Yeah. No, as you say, it's a journey, and definitely, it's always difficult creating your own way, your own path. And I suppose it's also a challenge when that path is, you're aiming for different things. It's not just your kind of standard. This is we're going to do like everyone else. As it sounds like, you've got your own vision, a little bit different, a little bit unique.
Yeah. I was Google it about how to create the culture. It's unfortunately Google couldn't answer all questions, and maybe not unfortunately, because I will be copy past if I find. But now I will rely only on my feelings and thoughts. And
yeah, it's not one of those you can just ask Alexa or Siri; they won't have the answer for you.
For sure.
Yeah.
But decided to implement it step by step. So we starting from paying a lot of attention to the soft skills, so that we, for example, when we hire people, so we look not only about the expertise, we're looking also on the soft skills of the potential candidate, or like we're looking for like-minded people to the company.
Yeah, for sure. So I can see kind of the internally how you want to move Atmosfera forward. If we were to talk about maybe externally, so the industry and kind of trends at the moment, what are the biggest challenges suppliers like yourselves face? And obviously you mentioned already that live casino is very competitive, so already that's a big challenge right there.
You asked me about my challenges. Yes, the challenges that Atmosfera faced.
Yeah, in the marketplace, sort of company challenges, the companies in the industry face, maybe not necessarily internally, separate from the branding discussion.
I think for Atmosfera, the main issue for now that we faced is competition for player attention. So because we have a lot of integration, a lot of partners, we are already live at many casinos, and it's not enough. It's just small part of workflow and that you need to do to success in players' attention. Maybe several years ago when we started, it was enough, but now for sure not. Big companies have more, could offer more products. They are more professional. They have not more professional. It's not right to say. They have more expertise in some marketing tools, using their previous expertise. And yeah, that's what we face right now. So many, as I told you, light providers. I mentioned Pragmatic, which are already familiar to the end users, and the many others like Onair, Infinity. They new product, they bring their new expertise to the market. They already know this problem, use this problem, and prepared for this. So they will enter. They will go live with some interesting feature which helps them to compete. We in previous year we haven't got these features. Now we started with like tournament. Now we're working on such tool like free chip, which help us to involve people playing our games. We're also working on increases the speed of the video of video broadcasting. So this will improve the user experience. But first, what you need to do is to push the player, open your game, and then you are trying to returning, and this is the other step.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting marketing tools, I think, not creative marketing tools will be the problem, the challenge number one for the market and for Atmosfera, for sure.
A final topic I wanted to talk to you about is kind of, we talked a lot about internal policies, and we talked about challenges there. The future, looking forward, with everything that you've mentioned, how do you kind of see the live casino industry maybe changing the rest of 2022, the next couple of years? Is it going to change a lot? I mean, it sounds like, as you say, new developments, innovations all the time.
If you don't mind, I want to ask the same question to you, because I think you asked it many times to different people, and I think you collect a lot of expertise in this question. And
that's interesting. I think that's the first time, I think, in a GI Huddle I've been put on the spot and say answer the question. Live casino specific. Well, okay. A question. Okay. Let me answer your question for the question with another question. Right. Sorry to do that, but I mean, you mentioned a few brands earlier, and you mentioned pragmatic play. I guess so. For me, when I'm thinking about the future of live casino, I'm thinking about the impact Evolution has, because Evolution is obviously huge as a brand. I think potentially where Evolution goes, maybe not dictates, but definitely helps determine, where the sector goes, because obviously they have a big market share. Will they lose market share? Will other brands come forward, or will they keep growing? Does that make sense as kind of a point to think about when we look at the future?
Yeah, for sure. They are huge and massive and everywhere, but they also push the market to develop.
Yeah,
and they also push pragmatic us. Some of the companies with this speed becomes growing more faster than Evolution. It's only my personal opinion.
yeah. Well, I think that's fair.
Pragmatic, because this year and the previous year they did great job, and from the perspective of the product, the quality of product, and it's really good for the market that not only Evolution drives the market.
Yeah, absolutely. I think.
But
go ahead.
Answering your question, my opinion regarding the second part of this year. If you're interested about my thoughts about the figures, so I wouldn't say nothing, because it's better to refer to such interesting companies like, I don't know, Ash to Gambling Capital. They great forecast. But from what I see, I mentioned before, there is a huge competition for users, and we will. And also there are a lot of quite good products and companies on the market. So we'll see new future features, marketing features, which will help everyone to have to attract users, to hold them, and to succeed. Because as you see, products quite familiar to each other. I mean, the type of product, not the quality overall. So live-folded, blackjack, baccarat, and so on. Some game show product. But the tools which help you to attract to this product will be for sure different. And the method how companies will use it on which market. So I think what we'll see is this challenge. Not only providers cares, for sure, not only cares about how to increase LTV of the player, for sure, first of all, the brands, B2C brands care about it, but they think overall of the player, not to particular brand, I mean particular provider of casino or slot, but providers like me, like us, we think only about how to be interesting for the player.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Yury, thanks very much for your time and for your answers. I think maybe to sum up our discussion on kind of how it will move forward, and if I were to give an opinion, as you asked me for mine earlier, I think live casino is going to just continue to grow, and in comparison to other verticals, I think live casino is still got loads of room, to take up that market share. But I don't know if you have any final thoughts on that. I mean, I imagine there'll be positive thoughts in that regard.
For sure, it will be grow. As we see the forecast of different companies, not on the consulting companies, public companies, they all speaking about the growing of market, of European market, of markets which established regulations, markets who ready to meet new players. So from different perspectives, the market, the gambling market, will grow for many, many years, for sure. And it's really good news for us, for you, for all participants. But also it will be more competitive, more modern from IT side, because I think in several years or maybe earlier we'll have a possibility to play in VR games. We'll see. VR casino, just imagine. So we will finish interviews and put some glasses and enter in the casino you like.
Absolutely, yeah. It could all change, couldn't it? And you've got metaverse and things like this. But Yury, once again, thanks very much for your time, and a real pleasure speaking with you about Atmosfera and about the industry.
It was a pleasure for me too. Thank you for inviting me.